We love to believe that big, dramatic changes create life. New job, sudden windfall. Clever idea. But here is what I learned after 6 months of testing. It is the boring, tiny habits nobody pays attention to that really shape a person into an unstoppable entity. Not the kind where someone burns out after 2 weeks of motivation. I mean the kind that builds momentum so quietly and gradually through compound interest, until it looks like an overnight success to an outsider. Each of the 10 habits repairs my productivity, health, and mindset immediately. The results never really felt overnight, but they were undeniable. 1. Waking up at the same time, even on weekends. I didn't jump on the whole 5 a.m. club tick. Nor did I get blackout curtains or sunrise lamps. I just followed the sensible approach and picked a wake-up time of 7 a.m. that I would maintain every day. Why it works. The brain thrives on rhythms. When you wake up at the same time, the body knows when to switch on alertness, focus, and energy. All that energy usually wasted on grogginess is no longer drained, and you no longer treat Mondays like jet lag day. The real advantage, I just stopped fighting with myself. My mornings became reliable, almost sacred. And when the morning goes right, the day has a fighting chance. 2. A 10-minute morning walk. I had always rolled my eyes at the mention of morning rituals. But simply walking outside for 10 minutes after waking was the most powerful keystone habit I picked up. The science: morning sunlight sets your circadian rhythm. It lowers your cortisol levels and improves your sleep quality at night. Walking also clears the mental fog better than coffee. At first, I just went through the motions. By the 3rd week, I was hooked. That tiny injection of movement and light gave me hours of clean energy. My creativity went through the roof. My mood stabilized. I stopped feeling like a zombie in the mornings. Being unstoppable does not start with caffeine. It starts with daylight, then motion. 3. The 3-task rule. Like all the rest, I would drown under mammoth to-do lists. More often than not, I had spent the day feeling defeated for not doing enough. Then came the 3-task rule. I would write down the 3 things I would want to accomplish the following day. Not 10, not 15, just 3. The tasks themselves were less of a magic trick, though. The magic lay in clarity. There was no exhaustion from decision fatigue anymore. I knew what mattered, and just finishing those 3 tasks gave me momentum unlike before, where finishing meant victimization. Productivity is not about doing more, it's about doing fewer things, but better. 4. Reading for 20 minutes a day. 6 months ago, I had not finished a book in 1 whole year. Netflix, YouTube, and endless scrolling had completely taken over my attention span. So I made myself commit to a micro-commitment. Read 20 minutes every night before bed. Within weeks, I rediscovered something profound: books are compressed decades of someone else's knowledge. They rewire your brain in ways short-form content never can. In 6 months, I had read 15 books. Conversations deepened. My ability to think slowed down and sharpened my writing in a speed-addicted world. Read if you want to stand out in a distracted world. 5. Writing 1 page a day. I never actually tried to be a writer. I needed to unclog my brains. But 1 page per day, be it journaling, ideas, or reflections, started to feel like mental exercise. Here's the truth about writing. It enforces clarity of thought. Things that seem brilliant in your head often flop when put to paper. Writing every day is your daily sharpening tool for that sword. Every second your mind grows sharper in reasoning, convincing, and creating without you even noticing. Some of the potentially great business ideas came from a stray paragraph in my daily writing habit. It was not about perfect writing, but about admitting honestly. 6. The 5-minute reset rule. Former self going into spirals of frustration when a day started going downhill. New self: the 5-minute reset. Anytime I was finding myself with stress, distraction, or feeling overwhelmed, I would pause for 5 minutes. No phones, no work. Time for just a quick round of breath stretching or just walking away from the desk. The effect is wild. Instead of burning several hours away in burnout, I would snap back really quickly. These mini resets kept my energy level consistent for the rest of the day. Being unstoppable is not about never getting hit by walls, but rather about bouncing back faster than anyone else. 7. Tracking wins, not just goals. The dilemma with goals is that they are always set for the future. That means one lives in the eternal state of not there yet. Then I started to write down one win every day, only one. Sometimes it was completing a difficult task. Sometimes resisting junk food. Other times it was just showing up. 6 months later, I had a notebook full of proof that I was moving forward. Momentum is psychological in nature. Seeing proof of itself creates opportunities for you to act like a winner because you are one. 8. Saying no more often. For most of my life, I was a chronic yes person. Any invitation, any quick favor, any shiny new project. I said yes because I did not want to miss out or disappoint anyone. The bottom line is that every yes is a concealed no. When you say yes to an unimportant thing, you say no in silence to your concentration, your goals, a little rest. So then I turned things around. For 6 months, I made myself say no to something at least once a week. Maybe it was saying no to a meeting without an agenda. Maybe it was saying no to a party when my recovery called for it. Maybe it was saying no to another newsletter. It felt liberating. My schedule began to lighten, my choices became precise, and time began to shape around things that really mattered. Saying yes makes you liked. Saying no makes you unstoppable. 9. Moving your body every day, but not the way you think. Whenever I thought being really fit meant brutal workouts. 90 minutes in the gym, shirts soaked in sweat, pushing to failure. This mindset guaranteed inconsistency. Instead, I made a pact with myself. Move the body every single day, but allow flexibility. Sometimes it would be a 45-minute strength session. Sometimes yoga, sometimes cycling, sometimes just a walk in the park. The key was never intensity, it was consistency. Movement became a non-negotiable rhythm, never a chore. After about 6 months, my energy levels didn't just improve, they stabilized. There were no more extreme highs or crashing lows. And I realized something deeply profound. A body is the engine of being unstoppable. If you do not maintain it, nothing else will matter. 10. Ending the day with gratitude, not screens. The old routine, doom scrolling until barely awake and questioning the anxious feeling that awakened my night. The new one, ending the day with writing down 3 things I was grateful for. Sometimes they were small, good coffee, kind text. Sometimes they were big, finishing a big milestone. How it works, our mind makes use of something called negativity bias. The brain dwells on what went wrong until gratitude gives it a reboot to notice what went right, calming your nervous system as you fall asleep. After 6 months, I wasn't just sleeping better. I was living better. I became less reactive, more grounded, and more aware of the abundance of good life already held by me. Gratitude is not cheesy, it is brain training to see reality more clearly. The compound effect. What happened after 6 months? After 6 months, I reviewed my journals and habits, in which it really blew my mind to observe what had been happening. My energy stayed steadier than ever. My productivity was twice the times, working fewer hours. My creativity blossomed. I was brimming with ideas, but lacking in time to work on them. My reactions to stress were shifting. I stopped derailing that easily. And lastly, I liked who I was becoming more and more. But none of that felt so spectacular while it was happening. From day to day, the habits almost felt boring, small, valueless even. It was the compounding that mattered. Just like drops of water filling up a bucket, that consistency built something unstoppable. The hidden truth about becoming unstoppable. Most people imagine being unstoppable means waking up at 4 a.m., running marathons, and literally just working. That is not being unstoppable, but being unsustainable. Now let me share with you the secret. Being unstoppable isn't about exertion levels, it's about the rhythm. It is about the minuscule invisible habits that compound one upon the other, until the baseline of an individual surpasses that of most people's peak. You don't run your way to unstoppable, you stack it. How to start today? If you are reading this and thinking, I can't do all 10 at once, good, don't. Here is my advice for you. Choose one habit that feels easiest for you at this very moment. Do it on a daily basis for 2 weeks, come what may. After those 2 weeks, add one more, yet don't stop doing the first one. Let momentum splash itself. 6 months down the road, your life could look utterly unfamiliar. Not because you became anyone else, but because you finally stopped getting in your own way.